Hey guys, so I saw the trailer, believe it or not, via Twitter for the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe show that's coming on Netflix. Not the second part to Revelation, let's make that clear. This is the new CGI series that's apparently aimed at a younger audience. And I will say this. I will say this. It definitely looks a lot better than Revelation. I mean, the I'll put okay. Let me correct myself. You see, the animation style on both Revelation and this one are pretty good. I'm not going to deny that. Uh, but what I'm trying to say is, right now, as a show, it looks a lot better. And it's definitely everything that it says it is. It is a reboot. It does, now, here's the thing. It does change up some characters, not just, ethic-wise or, species-wise or anything like that, or race-wise, but also gender-wise. Like Ram Man is now Ram Ma'am. And Tila is now apparently African American. It looks like stuff like that, and it definitely gives off as as Neon and Geeky Sparkles of Clownfish TV put it. It does give off a bit of a Big Hero 5 like vibe. Some have even compared it to Power Rangers in a sense. And yes, in case you guys have noticed, basically the group, all have the power. He-Man, Adam, if you will, has the main source of the power, but everybody else also has the power as well, and it's pretty much followed up on, if you will, by them when they say that they all have the power, changing into these suits, these Power Ranger Big Hero 6 like suits, if you will, that represent, the power that they possess, if you know what I mean. Like you got the master of technology, master of construction, and the master of sorcery, or mastery of magic, basically. And then of course you have Adam, who is the champion, the chosen champion. Which yes, they do use the word champion again in this one, just like they do in the Netflix Revelation one, which is of course this is also by Netflix. So yeah, they still use that, much to the chagrin of a lot of people. But overall, if you compare the two, it definitely feels like it's more in line with what He-Man is supposed to be, what you would expect out of a He-Man show. Reboot, continuation, or whatever, it feels like a He-Man show. Even though, as Geeky put it on their reaction video they did, it feels like they're going down the path that Princesses of Power did, the She-Ra reboot they did a couple years ago, that ran for a couple of seasons, that culminated with basically the LGBTQ lesbian relationship of Catra and Adora being official, or being made official. So yeah, it does feel like it's giving off that kind of a vibe, according to someone like Geeky, and I'm sure others would agree with her on that. And I'm not denying that it doesn't feel like that, but you got to remember, this is aimed at a newer audience and a younger audience. I mean, the one of the themes that they talk about in the end is discovering, who you are inside, which is sounds like a lesson to be learned, when it comes to um, this kind of a show aimed at a younger audience. One thing I will say is they do keep the origin of Keldor being related to Adam, in this case being his uncle, and we know Keldor is Skeletor, so that's pretty cool. We do get new interpretations of what's his name, Trapjaw. I think we get new variations of him, Evil Lyn, Beastman. I think we get, Triclops, so we definitely get new interpretations of them, as well as the new look for Skeletor, which is kind of a hybrid of his original and the 2002 series, just like with Revelation. But this feels more like a legit, straight up Skeletor that belongs in, a He-Man series that falls in line as being a He-Man series, not something that's promoted as such and then turns into something else, like Revelation was in the eyes of many of us. So I will give this CGI series aimed at a younger audience a lot of credit. It definitely feels more in line with what He-Man is. It really does. And yeah, there's going to be some aesthetics, like, not aesthetics, but, well, kind of aesthetics and basically changes and stuff to characters, gender-wise and all that, that some people, like I said earlier, are not going to agree with. I mean, Geeky and Neon, they don't agree with some of the changes to the characters, but again, this is a reboot. And if there's anything about a straight-up reboot, even if it takes place in a future version of Eternia, is you're going to have some changes to characters, whether it's ethnic, race, or gender, or species. You're going to have a change in the characters. Like, we have one character that's called the Master of the Wild, which I think is Cringer. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting look for the series come September when it comes out, which is next month. I think it's around a little after the 20th anniversary of 9/11, believe it or not. So we'll see how fans react to it. We'll see if diehard He-Man fans, old school He-Man fans, might take to it better than they did with Revelation, and just see what the end result is when it's all said and done. But the one thing I am getting off of this, just like what I believe with Revelation, is when you look at the top of the box art for the toys being sold for not just Revelation but for this series, you get that wording called Masterverse. And to me, that's just another interpretation of multiverse. Like, that's their way of saying this is a multiverse of different interpretations of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Like, different interpretations of Eternia and all that. So in this case, this is an alternate universe where Eternia is set in the future. So that's the vibe I'm getting. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this new He-Man CGI series? How do you feel it's going to be like after watching the trailer? Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. But again, how do you feel about this? I feel it is a lot better. It does fall in line with what a He-Man show should be. But we'll see what the end result is when it's all said and done. And again, let me know what your thoughts are. And like the video. And I will talk to y'all later.